So yeah, hi guys. So today we are going to explore how to migrate data from Google Cloud Storage to AWS. So here, if you can see in this infrastructure diagram, so we are going to have a Google Cloud Platform account, and we can see we have an AWS account. So here our target is to migrate Google Cloud Storage data to our S3 bucket. So here we are using AWS Datasync service, which will act as an agent. So as we all know that agent is nothing but a middle person who will help us to migrate the data from source to destination. So our source will be Google Cloud Storage here, and our destination will be S3 bucket here. So as you can see in the picture, so we are using Google Cloud Storage service here. Here we will be creating a bucket and we will be uploading the data into it. And here you can see an S3 service here. So our target is to migrate that data from source to destination. So whenever we do a migration, so we have to make sure what is our source and what is our destination. And obviously whenever there is a migration, there will be a middle person to migrate the data from source to destination. So we are using a Datasync service here. So we are going to create a Datasync agent on Amazon EC2 instance within the VPC. So this agent will help us to migrate the data from Google Cloud Storage to S3. So before starting this, we all should have a Google Cloud Platform account and we all should have AWS account. So I'll be guiding you how to create this storage bucket and how to upload the file into this bucket and how to move our data into the S3 bucket. So let's go to the practical. So I already own a GCP account. So let me go and open and show this GCP account. People who are very new to GCP, so you don't need to get confused. So it can be a different cloud platform, but we can see a lot of similar names here. So we have a GCS service here to store our data. So whenever you type GCS on the services, so you can see Google Cloud Storage here. So let me just prepare with my source and destination first, and then I'll let you know how to authenticate between source to Datasync and Datasync to AWS S3. So you can see here this is cloud storage, and yeah, we have to create a bucket here. So cloud storage service is similar to S3 in AWS. So we just need to create a bucket, and as we all know, in AWS S3 the bucket name should be unique, and even GCP also the bucket name should be unique. So let me go and create a bucket here. So let me create it a NareshIT source, NareshIT source bucket. Scroll down. Let me click on continue. So let me put it in a region Asia Pacific. Or else let me go with a single region. So not a multi-region, and let me just search for Mumbai. So yeah, so I'm going to create a bucket in Mumbai region and click on continue. So I'm leaving all these options as default, so I don't want to change any options. Let me go and create it, and I'm going to uncheck this unforce public access. So as we all know, like whenever we are creating a bucket, so we will remove a block public access from S3, right? So similarly here also I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to create a bucket, and the bucket is getting created. Yes, so our source is ready, but we should have some data into the source, right? So we have to move that into the destination. Let me go and upload a file into the storage. Let me upload some chart.txt. Yeah. So with this, I'm ready with my source. I have the source, I have data inside the source, and let me go back to our picture. Yes, we are good with source, and now we have to prepare our destination. Let me go to the AWS account, and I already have an AWS account. Let me navigate to S3 service, going to S3 service. Yeah, so we have to create an S3 bucket here because I want to move data from GCP Cloud storage to AWS S3. So I'm good with source now, so I'm going to prepare my destination now. So let me go and create a bucket. Yeah, so here also, as we know, that bucket name should be unique. So let me give a bucket name unique, Naresh IT destination. Yeah, scroll down. So let me put it ACLs enabled, unblock the public access, acknowledge it. Let me create a bucket. Yeah, so as I shown in the picture, my source is ready and my destination is also ready. So now we have to configure the middle person. So who is the middle person here? The middle person is agent, which is provided by Datasync. So here I wanted to put my agent, or I wanted to host my agent into Amazon EC2 instance. Let me go back to the EC2. So these are the two servers which I have already. So ignore these two servers, don't get confused. And let us go and create Datasync agent on Amazon EC2 instance. Let's see how to configure Datasync agent on Amazon EC2 instance. Let me name it as Datasync agent. So remember, every time whenever we do a migration, people who are very new to IT, so they'll get confused or they'll get scared about migration. So migration is nothing but moving data from one place to another place. So that is as simple as that. So always when we do a migration, it can be a database migration, it can be a storage migration, it can be an application migration, whatever it may be. Definitely there will be a middle person. Always we have to configure a middle person. So this middle person names might vary. So sometimes we call it as replication instance, sometimes we call it as agent, sometimes we call it as some other thing. So it is just a bridge. So whenever we are working with the real time, only the difference is the amount of data that which you deal. So the rest of the process will be look similar. So just try to understand how to configure the agent of Datasync on Amazon EC2 instance. So I have given the name Datasync agent. Scroll down. So here, so this is very important step. So here we have to make sure our AMI. So we have an AMI. So let me search with Datasync and click on enter. So whenever I search with Datasync in AMIs, so go to the marketplace, or go to the community AMIs. Yep, so I can able to see a lot of AMIs with respect to the Datasync here, right? So don't get confused. We'll be using the updated one. So I can see this is the recent one here. So let me this is provided by AWS itself and it is verified by AWS. So let me select this. Whenever you select this AMI, so this AMI required a few things that you need to remember. Like one is, go with an instance type, at least a T2 X large. So because this agent, to run this agent, we required certain amount of RAM, CPUs, right? So this T2 X large may be a best fit for us. Let me create a new key pair and let me name it as Datasync agent key. So I'm going with PPK. So let me click on create key pair. Scroll down. So I'm leaving a default network here. I'm going to create a new security group here. So remember, so whenever you create a security group, I'm going to name it as Datasync, and I'll be giving the same description here and ports. So as we all know that ports are very important in the security group. Our Datasync agent requires HTTP port because it uses HTTP protocol. So let me go and add HTTP protocol here and put it in anywhere. Yep. So you can see the storage 80 GB. So by default we got this 80 GB storage because it requires minimum 8 GB storage. 80 GB storage. Just click on launch instance. Our instance is getting created now. Yep. Our Datasync agent is created. Now we have configured the source and destination and we created the agent. Now whenever there is a middle person, we have to explain them like this is what the source, this is what the destination, you go and copy the data from source to destination. We have created a Datasync agent, but we have not explained to the Datasync agent saying that this is my source and this is my destination, right? To explain that or to configure that or to create a job, so we have to navigate to the service called Datasync. Let me go with the Datasync service now. Open the Datasync service. Yep, so we are in the AWS Datasync console now. Let's click on get started. So we have to deploy the agent here. So our agent is on Amazon EC2. Scroll down, keep as it is a public service endpoints address. So address means our agent address is, let me just go and copy the public IP address of my agent and paste it here. Just click on get key. So it should automatically authenticate because it is in AWS only, right? Let's see. Yep, so successfully retrieved activation key from the agent. That's really great. So let's configure the agent name. So my agent name, again, like, I'll be saying that GCP to AWS. Let's click on create agent. Yes, our agent is ready. We created the agent. Now we have to configure the locations. So locations means, so we have to tell to the Datasync that, yeah, this is my source and this is my destination. So just click on create location, and my source is object storage because my source is in GCP. For GCP, we have to select object storage, and I have selected the object storage and I have created the agent. My agent is ready. And server. So our source is GCP, right? Let me go back to the GCP bucket. Let me go to the IAM. So we have to create an IAM service account here. So go back to the IAM, and inside the IAM, so we can see service accounts here. Yes, I created a service account, and let me go with my first project and let me create on service account. So here, as we all know that in AWS we have IAM users, IAM roles and all, right? So here we will call it as service account. I'm naming it as Naresh IT service account. Scroll down, create and continue. So this service account should have our GCP storage permissions. So I'm giving storage admin. Scroll down, click on done. Our service account is created. Now go back to our cloud storage bucket. We have to generate the keys. People who are aware of AWS, they know that secret access key and access key ID, right? Similarly, because our agent in Amazon EC2, which is outside of GCP and outside of the network, and that has to be communicate with our GCP. So for sure we have to authenticate using of some credentials. So here we are authenticating using of access key ID and secret access key. And here we can see the service account. So click on this interoperability, scroll down. So copy this and give it as a server name. We have seen that a server name here, right? Go back. So don't give HTTPS. Just give it this because we are using HTTP protocol. And bucket name, yes, what is the bucket name of my GCP cloud storage? My bucket name is Naresh IT source bucket. Let me copy this source. Let me give it into the bucket name. I don't want to add any folder, and I have the credentials, so I have to generate the credentials. Go back to the settings, go back to the keys, HMEAC, and create a key for another service account, and my service account is Naresh IT. So just click on create key. So now it generates the key. Yeah, so as we all know that it generates the key now. Copy the access key ID, go back, paste the access key ID, and just make sure it should not have any spaces. If you have any spaces, again it shows an error at the ending. Click on create location. Yeah, my source is done, and now I have to create another location called destination. So my destination is S3, and Datasync is acting as middle layer to send the data into S3. But if I wanted to establish connection between Datasync and S3, in AWS we all know that whenever two different AWS services wants to talk to each other, then the IAM role should comes into the picture. Let me just go and create an IAM role, so which allows access from Datasync to S3. Go to the IAM, go to the roles, click on create role. Yep, so come back, use cases. So I wanted to have access from Datasync to. So you can see here already we have this Datasync to S3 location. Yeah, that is fine for me. So it is already giving Amazon S3 full access. Click on next. So let me say name it as Datasync to S3 buckets. Scroll down, create role. Yep, so we created a role. Going back to the Datasync, we have created one location which is our source. Now we are going to configure destination. So our destination is Amazon S3, and our bucket is Naresh IT destination bucket. Scroll down, and our role is we have created a Datasync to S3 buckets. Yes, I've selected create a location. Done. So we are good with source and destination, and we have given the details to the agent. Hey guys, this is my source and this is my destination. Now we wanted to ask them to copy a data. For that we have to create a task. Go to the tasks, click on create a task, and saying my configuration is existing already there. My source is object storage. Click on next. My destination is S3 bucket. Click on next, and GCP to S3, everything, complete scan, and transfer all the data, and scroll down. I'm not going to schedule it. So if you wanted to schedule it, you can still schedule it. For example, if I wanted to run a job every day at morning 9 o'clock, so it triggers and it automatically runs the job, so that every day at morning 9 o'clock, whatever the data that you have in GCP Cloud storage will be copied to the destination. So I'm not going to schedule it, and also I don't want to add any logs. So if you wanted to add a logs, you can still send the logs into the CloudWatch. So click on next and click on create a task. Yeah, so I've created a task. So now let's run the task. Let's see what will happen. The task is running. So our target is to move data from GCP Cloud storage to S3 bucket. So by the time the task completes, so we should see our data into the destination S3 bucket, because as we all know, in the source we uploaded a data into the source, a small file like char.txt or something, and we configured the source, we configured the destination, and we created a task, and we executed the task as well. Now let's see the history here. The status is launching, so we will be waiting until it completes. The task is running as of now. Let's see if this task got failed. We have to go back and we have to troubleshoot it. Let's go the tasks. Yes, it is running. it is running. Let me refresh it. So if you wanted to check the history of the tasks, you can go to the history here. It is launching. It is launching and the task is running. Let's see. So I'm repeating. So here we are going to copy the data from Google Cloud Storage bucket to Amazon S3 bucket. So refresh it, it is running. Go to the tasks again. It is running. So meanwhile, we'll go to the S3 bucket. So this is our S3 bucket, right? In this, we should be able to see the file. Let me refresh it again. Meanwhile, we can go and check it. Go to the source. We have not received any file as of now. We should receive, we'll wait. Let's see the task. Let's see the history. It is still launching. We have to wait. Task is running. Go to the history. So this might take a few minutes, like few seconds more. We'll see. So go to the history, launching. Let me refresh the S3 also. Let me click on the destination bucket. Yes, a task executed successfully. Whatever the file that we uploaded into the Google Cloud Storage, that is copied to the destination. Let me go back and show you the source. Yeah. So this is my source bucket. So Naresh IT source bucket. And yes, this is the file which I uploaded into the source. And go back. This is my destination. Yes. So this is the task which I executed and the status is also shown as success. So this is how you can able to migrate your data from GCP to S3. Still, we can use Datasync to migrate the data from Azure to Azure to AWS S3, at the same time on premises to S3 as well. So next time, yep, so we will be looking into the other part, like how we can move some data from Azure to AWS as well. But for as of now, we are good. We configured the Datasync agent, the task executed successfully, and we successfully copied the data from source to destination. Source is GCP, destination is AWS S3. Yep, so thank you so much, guys.